on my series of what I'm not going to buy in 2025 is homemade tortillas. This is a double batch, but I'll put the recipe for 8 tortillas on the screen. In a mixer or bowl, you're going to add 3 cups of flour, 1½ teaspoons of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 cup of warm water. Here I'm adding 2 because again I'm making a double batch. And then you're going to melt a stick of butter and add that to your mixture. You're going to either mix your dough on the mixer for 5 minutes until smooth and pulling away from the bowl. Or if you're hand kneading it, then you're going to knead it for 10 minutes until it is a nice smooth dough ball. You know when it's good and kneaded when it no longer sticks to the sides of the bowl and pulls away from the bowl. Here you can see mine's in one big dough ball and no longer sticking to the sides of the bowl. That's when it is done, and you're going to take it out, make it in a ball, and cover it with wet paper towels so that your dough doesn't dry out, and let it rest for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you're going to take your dough out. I'm going to cut mine in half since I made a double batch. And then you're going to cut it into 8 equal pieces. If you want to weigh them so they're all the same, you can, but I don't. I just kind of eyeball mine until they look about the same size. Once you have them in pieces, you're going to take one and then put the smooth side down and just kind of fold it until you have a round ball that's smooth on the top. Then you're going to place them in your bowl and put those wet paper towels back on top so your dough balls do not dry out. Once you have all your dough balls formed, you're going to cover them with the wet, damp paper towel, and you're going to let them rest again for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you're going to go ahead and preheat your skillet or whatever you're going to use to cook your tortillas. I put it on a medium-low heat, and then you're going to roll out your dough into circles. I try to flatten mine out with my hand the best I can, and then I use my rolling pin to kind of work around the circle to make it as round and thin as I can get it. This kind of takes practice. At first, mine was a weird square shape, but the more I make them, the easier it is to get in a circle. But sometimes mine are still not perfectly circle, and that's okay because they still taste good. I use my silicone mat to kind of stretch it out to the 10-inch circle with my hand the best I can after I have flattened it. And that really helps me to get them a more round shape. But if you don't have a mat, that's okay. Just try to make them as round as you can. When you have it round, I go ahead and get a dish with butter, a brush, a plate to put the tortillas on, and a set of tongs because I don't like burning my fingers. And you're going to sit your tortilla as gently as you can so it doesn't fold on your hot skillet. And it's going to bubble pretty quickly, so you don't want to walk away. When it starts getting big bubbles and it starts lifting around the edges, you're going to flip it over. And then I put a little bit of butter on that side of my tortilla. And once it gets all puffed up, you're going to take it off and put it on your plate.